Hello guys, it is Gate of Theories here, and we are back discussing Pixar's latest film, Turning Red, and focusing on everyone's new favourite character, Mei. But like with all Pixar characters, we have to ask the biggest question of them all: who is their monster? So far on this channel, we've done this to many different Pixar characters: Bonnie, Darla, Miguel, Violet, even Luca. And if you want to check out these videos for yourself, there will be links down below in the description, or there'll be cards throughout this video linking to those other videos. But now it's time for Mei, and it's a good one. But before we go any further, please make sure that you've clicked that red subscribe button down below and have your notifications turned on so that you get notified every time we make any brand new Pixar videos. So, firstly, we need to find out whether Mei is being scared or is part of the laugh floor, and which generation of monsters is she part of, because there's a lot to choose from. We have Mike and Sully and that generation of monsters and scarers. We have the generation of scarers during Monsters University. Going further back than that, we have the generation of scarers when Mike was a kid. Going further back than that, you have Dean Hardscrabble and a whole long line of scare record holders. And looking at laughters into the future, we have Tyler Tuskman and other jokers from Monsters at Work. So it's really important we narrow it down. And luckily in Monsters Inc. there is a very helpful file that tells us when the monsters are scaring too. By the time Sully and Randall are scaring kids, in the human world it is the 1990s, as seen in the corner of Mike's folder, which reads the year 1999. So it's basically from 2000 onwards where the scarers are jokesters. And what's brilliant is we know when Turning Red takes place as well. There are many different calendars and dates said throughout the film that all confirm the film takes place in May 2002, Toronto, Canada. So the scarers are jokesters. Well, not actually, because in 2002, Mei is 13, and we know from kids like Boo and the children Mike and Sully encounter in Monsters University that the kids tend to be in the early ages from at least below 10. So that fits Mei perfectly up with being scared by the scarers we see in Monsters Inc., which includes monsters like Sully and Randall. Great, now we need to find her door. From Turning Red, we can see Meis Door is your average white door with a circular handle and 4 indented panels on it. So I went on the search to find it, which I thought would be easy. However, it ended up being way more challenging than I thought, as there is so many doors in the door hub. And before anyone jumps into the comments to say this proves there are more doors than wheels in the world, just remember every one of these doors is attached to a rail, which most definitely has a wheel in it to allow it to move through the air. So there are just as many, if not more, wheels in the door hub as there are doors. If you haven't noticed, I'm definitely team wheels, and I can't understand anyone who says they're team doors. But away from that tangent, after a thorough look, I managed to find a few doors that look like Mei's. One here in the background and one near Sully's chase. So time confirmed, door confirmed, now all we need to look for is Mei's scarer. And that was easier said than done, because as much as Mei loves to monologue to the audience, she doesn't really say much about her past apart from the fact that she always followed her mum's orders and traditions. However, there is one part of the film where we do get to kind of see what Mei's fears are, and that is her nightmare just before she transforms into the giant red panda. But this dream is full of some crazy stuff that just tend to happen only in dreams. As crazy as fish people and sunflowers with faces on them. Like too far-stretched fears to relate to any monster we actually know about. However, the main thing about the dream is Mei fearing the giant red panda, seeing disturbing and frightening images of it coming around when it's angry. And before Mei actually accepts the red panda as part of herself, she is terrified of herself, not just because she doesn't look the way she used to look like, but because she seems to be scared of giant red things as seen in this nightmare. Now, why is this? Because she had never even heard of the giant red panda before this moment, so what sparked her fears of just giant red beings? Usually our fears come from an experience in our past, so maybe she did meet a giant red creature thing, but it just wasn't a red panda. And I wonder which monster could that be? That's right, 2319 himself, George Sanderson. George actually fits up with Mei perfectly. Let's just begin with the fact that he is a giant red and orange furry looking creature like a giant red panda, and he also fits up perfectly with the time period as he would have been an early scarer when Mei was young. George also goes throughout Monsters Inc. a huge transformation like May. When the 2319 incident happens, he gets his entire hair shaved off and looks completely different, and it takes till the end of the film before it finally grows back. It kind of parallels May's transformation from human to giant red panda throughout the film. And if we go back to that nightmare, one of the key things it shows are two halves of what look like some sort of deformed horn. Well, this could definitely be a reference to George's iconic horn on the top of his head. And to be honest, out of all the monsters, he does kind of look like the giant red pandas, which explains why May might have been so scared of herself at first when she first transformed. Because yes, she didn't know what on earth was happening to her, but also it might have reminded her of her monster from when she was young. Let's also not forget that monsters do thorough research into kids' backgrounds before they scare them. We've seen the folders the scarer's assistants use that has information on the child's fears, and in Monsters University, Dean Hardscrabble gets annoyed at Sully for not using the right scare, as certain scares provoke certain fears. So in their research, the monsters would have definitely found that May is part of a family of giant red monsters. So as a precaution, the monsters would have needed to send a monster in who could deal with a giant red panda if necessary. For example, if May transformed into the red panda while they're scaring, or if her mum does. Since George already kind of looks like one, he would be able to stand a bit more of a chance in case he was attacked. And where this all comes full circle is how turning red might fit into the Pixar theory. I did a full video explaining how turning red fits into the Pixar theory, and if you want to check that out, there'll be a link down below in the description, or you can go and click the card somewhere up there. But one thing I believe is that turning red could be some of the first signs of humans and animals mixing together to evolve into monsters. And since George has orange fur and kind of looks like a descendant of one of these giant red pandas, that would mean he's going back in time to scare his evolutionary ancestors that one day might in the future evolve into a monster similar to him, which I just think is so cool to think about. But anyway guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure that you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about this? Do you reckon that May's monster might be George Sanderson, or do you reckon it's a different monster? And what are your thoughts on turning red? Let me know all your thoughts down there. And guys, if you have any other suggestions for turning red theory ideas that you want me to cover, then be sure to let me know down below as well, because this idea for this video did come from a previous comment on my last turning red video. So if you want me to do a video, I do look at the comments and I will most likely do it. And as always, we've been here on Gate of Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.